You can't just take her.
Step aside, sir. She's under arrest.
No, I haven't done anything. Please, stop!
The rain had started before sunrise, turning the city streets into mirrors of silver and gray, but Daniel Carter barely noticed as he hurried across the parking lot carrying a sleeping 6-year-old girl in one arm and balancing a paper bag of breakfast in the other. Since losing his wife 3 years earlier, every morning had become a carefully choreographed race against time. Emily, his daughter, clung to him with sleepy trust, her tiny hand wrapped around his collar while he whispered promises that today would be easier than yesterday. Daniel worked as a maintenance supervisor at the prestigious Hawthorne Grand Hotel, a place where luxury covered every surface, where politicians, celebrities, and billionaires came and went without noticing the workers who kept everything running. He wasn't ashamed of his job. It paid the bills, kept food on the table, and allowed Emily to attend a decent school. Yet every day he walked through marble halls filled with expensive suits, he felt invisible. That morning, however, something was different. Emily had developed a fever during the night, and her school had called saying she couldn't return until she was fully recovered. Daniel had exhausted every favor from neighbors and babysitters. He had no choice but to bring her to work for a few hours until his sister could arrive from another town. The hotel manager reluctantly agreed, warning him that if Emily disturbed the guests, there would be consequences. Daniel promised she would stay quietly in the maintenance office. He believed everything would be fine. Fate had other plans. Around mid-morning, Emily's fever eased, and she asked for water. Daniel walked her through a quiet service hallway toward the employee cafeteria. At the same time, a glamorous charity gala was being prepared in the grand ballroom upstairs. Luxury cars lined the entrance while photographers waited outside. Among the arrivals was a young woman wearing a simple beige coat instead of designer fashion. She carried no security, no expensive jewelry, and no visible signs of wealth. The hotel staff assumed she was an assistant or perhaps a volunteer. No one recognized her because she preferred it that way. Her name was Sophia Bennett. Officially, she was the newly appointed chairwoman of Bennett International Holdings, one of the world's largest privately owned companies. Unofficially, she had spent months traveling anonymously to inspect businesses connected to her family's investments. Hawthorne Grand Hotel was one of them. She wanted to see how ordinary employees were treated when executives weren't watching. Sophia slipped away from the main entrance and wandered through quieter corridors, observing conversations, cleaning standards, and employee morale. She believed the truth of a company could never be found in boardrooms. It lived in hallways. As Daniel knelt beside Emily near a vending machine, she suddenly became dizzy. Her small legs gave way, and before Daniel could catch her, she stumbled into Sophia. The paper cup Sophia carried splashed coffee across her coat. Gasps echoed through the hallway. A supervisor nearby rushed over, instantly assuming the plainly dressed woman was an inconvenience rather than an important guest. "Watch your child," he barked at Daniel. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" Daniel immediately apologized while checking Emily's forehead. "I'm so sorry. She's sick. It was an accident." Before Sophia could respond, another hotel employee grabbed her arm roughly. "Ma'am, Please step aside while we handle this. Sophia calmly pulled her arm free, surprised less by the coffee than by the lack of compassion shown toward a frightened child. Emily's eyes filled with tears. She whispered, "Daddy, I'm sorry." Daniel hugged her gently. "You did nothing wrong." Just then several wealthy gala organizers entered the hallway. Seeing coffee stains and a maintenance worker holding a sick child, they frowned. One woman wearing diamonds shook her head in disgust. "Employees shouldn't bring children here. This is exactly why standards are slipping." Daniel lowered his eyes, swallowing his pride for Emily's sake. He started to leave when another organizer pointed towards Sophia. "And who is she?" No one knew. Because of her modest clothes, everyone assumed she belonged with the maintenance staff. The supervisor glanced at Daniel. "Is she with you?" For a brief moment Daniel hesitated. He could have said no. He didn't know the woman. He had never seen her before. But he noticed the uncomfortable expressions around her. He noticed how quickly strangers had judged her based solely on appearance. More importantly, he saw Emily looking frightened, believing everything was somehow her fault. Daniel took a slow breath and answered with quiet confidence. "She's with me." The hallway fell silent. Sophia looked at him in surprise. She had expected excuses, distance, maybe even blame. Instead, a stranger had chosen kindness over convenience. The organizer laughed sarcastically. "Then both of you can leave." Daniel simply nodded. "If that's what you want." He picked up Emily, adjusted his worn jacket, and gestured politely for Sophia to walk beside him. Without saying a word, she followed. Neither of them realized that hidden security cameras were recording every second of the encounter, nor that members of Bennett International's executive team were already reviewing live footage from another room. What began as an ordinary morning had quietly become the most important inspection the hotel would ever face.